All right, for more on this, let's bring in Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. Sir, good to see you.
Rob, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, yeah. You represent North Texas, but we want to talk about these southern border cities like McAllen, which apparently is just a disaster. They're setting up 10 communities. It's completely overwhelmed. The city of McAllen is asking for federal aid. What have they done to McAllen, Texas?
I mean, really, quite frankly, Rob, they're destroying it. And, you know, I visited the border several times, and what Joe Biden has done is made every state in this country a border state. It's a Biden border catastrophe. We have an open border now, and the proof is in the pudding. In June of 2020, there were 33,000 illegal crossings. In June of this year, there were 189,000. That's a 573% increase. It's so bad on the border. We're talking about decades. We haven't seen this thing in decades. Right. McAllen just elected a Republican mayor because they're sick and tired of it. President Trump in 2016 did very poorly along the border. In Starr County, only got 19%, and Zapata he only got 33%. This past November, he won Zapata County, and he almost won Starr County. People are tired of it, and they're the ones that suffer the most, the folks, the Americans that are on the border.
Paint a picture of, I mean, I know you're from North Texas, but paint a picture of what's happening in McAllen right now, because we keep hearing horror stories. I mean, there's just people everywhere. There's nowhere to put all these people.
Right, and Rob, can you imagine if you just released a handful of people that had COVID positive, Delta variant, that's going to threaten the city if they're not being responsible.
Right.
And these folks are largely now, we're seeing most of the folks coming from either southern Mexico or Central America. You put 7,000 people in a town like McAllen, where are they going to put them? How are these people going to pay for things? And that's why the people are just fed up. They can't take it any longer.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's 7,000 in McAllen COVID positive. There's way more than that. And McAllen, Texas has 140,000 people living there. So they are drastically changing the demographics of that city. I mean, in a huge way. Who knows what the actual number is? If it's 7,000 COVID positive, is what we just read, that would be 5% of the population in just COVID positive new people entering your city. Think about that for a second. The administration is... Go ahead.
Yeah. No, Rob, I was going to say, it's very important for people to realize who's controlling the southern border right now. It is not the federal government whose job it is. It is the Mexican drug cartels. Yeah. And they love it when they have mass unlawful migration, because half of our Border Patrol agents are babysitting and literally changing diapers when you have 200,000 people crossing every month. And that leaves who's going to encounter, who's going to enforce our laws, our border laws. Right. The drug cartels are smuggling fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine at record levels right now. And furthermore, they charge everybody for transit when you cross the border. And a lot of these people in Central America can't pay for it. So then they are indentured servants when they come here. And Joe Biden is underwriting the largest human trafficking and human smuggling operation in history.
It's unreal. The administration considering now only allowing vaccinated foreigners to visit the United States. Of course, people that travel here legally. Today, the White House asked whether migrants should be a part of that, have to be vaccinated to come in. They don't like questions like this. Here's a response.
No, they don't.
I know there was also reporting about the vaccination of migrants. That's not what the CBP is doing. There are NGOs and other international organizations who are vaccinating migrants as they come across the border and as they work in partnership with us. Certainly that helps keep a range of people safe in the country.
So smug. I mean, they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing, and they're making her go up there every day and try to tell us that everything's fine and under control. I mean, how pathetic.
She's, you know what she is? She's P.T. Barnum. She spins and she twists and she says nothing but word vomit. She's just regurgitating garbage, and I'm tired of it. People need to know the truth, and the truth is we don't have a disaster, we have a catastrophe, and it needs to be addressed. President Trump's policies worked. When you had the wait in Mexico policy, when you were deporting bad actors, and when you were building a wall that we have paid for, that I have seen with President Trump, and there are holes, it is literally like Swiss cheese. They will not, they are just abdicating their responsibility, and this is a gross dereliction of duty.
It's something else, all because Trump was so evil, right? You have to just allow open borders and let everybody in and act like lunatics. and go against common sense because you've got to do the opposite of Trump. It's just such a pathetic party line they're on. It's just outrageous. Texas Congressman Pat Fallon, sir, thank you so much for the time.
Thanks, Rob. God bless.